Yo, what is going on, Headliner Nation? Welcome back into the Fantasy Headliners. Kyle here, bringing you my top 36 wide receivers and top 18 tight ends for week 4 of the NFL season. We're going to be jumping into all of the ranking goodness here in just a second. But first, I got to remind everyone and ask all of you to head over to pristineauction.com and get signed up with a free account using code word headliners. Number one, it's going to make you eligible for all of our giveaways on this channel, and they are giving us some amazing autographed memorabilia to give away to all of you. So make sure that you go over and you get signed up. But also, if you use our code word headliners, you're going to get a $10 voucher for your first purchase. So if you see something cool on their website, which I guarantee you will, you'll have $10 off right away. And again, you'll be eligible for everything that we give away here. Make sure you go get signed up today. Do not forget about that after this video is done. Wait until after the video. But let's go ahead and jump into the wide receivers first. Cooper Kupp going up against San Francisco on Monday Night Football will be number one. A little bit of a tougher matchup, but not for Cooper Kupp. Number 2, Stefon Diggs. Baltimore giving up the most fantasy points to wide receivers right now. We expect a big game from Stefon Diggs coming up. And Jamar Chase going up against Miami, a team that's also giving up quite a bit of fantasy points to wide receivers. The big play upside is always going to be there. We just know that floor is a little bit lower. This is a good matchup. T. Higgins and Tyler Boyd could get involved this week like they did last week. Michael Pittman going up against Tennessee, giving up the second most fantasy points to opposing wide receivers right now. He's the number 1 in that offense, and he's getting all the targets. Let's get him started this week. Number 5, Justin Jefferson. Got him just a little bit lower. They're across the pond Sunday at 9:30 a.m. Don't forget about that they are already going to be kicked off by the time a lot of you are getting out of bed. Make sure you set those lineups the night before. But Justin Jefferson being across the pond, a little bit of a tougher matchup here. Could see, some Marshawn Lattimore this week. For me, Justin Jefferson just a little bit lower, bringing that ceiling down. A.J. Brown going up against Jacksonville. We've started to see Devontae Smith get more and more engaged in the offense. Will that continue to happen? Will people start to look at Devontae Smith a little bit more? And we're going to see another big game from A.J. Brown. It is worth following. T. Higgins going up against Miami on Thursday Night Football. Don't always love Thursday Night Football, but these are 2 really good offenses, 2 really good quarterbacks, and a whole lot of good wide receivers. I'm not sitting anybody in this matchup. Amon-Ra St. Brown, the ankle seems to be okay right now. We've heard that he should end up being fine. That was more of a minor setback. We'll continue to keep an eye on that and see if anything else pops up between now and kickoff. Amari Cooper going up against Atlanta. He's one of my prize picks, props of the week, going over the receiving yards for him. Amari Cooper could have a big game this week. Deebo Samuel going up against the Los Angeles Rams. I've got him a little bit lower because I think we see a little bit of Jalen Ramsey on him this week. Just kind of decreases the ceiling just a little bit. What we know, Jalen Ramsey at times has not been good this season. Tyreek Hill at number 11 going up against Cincinnati. Again, good matchups, good quarterbacks, good weapons, hopefully a whole lot of points. Mike Evans at number 12 going up against KC, coming back from his suspension. Hopefully he can get going this week and help that offense. Drake London at number 13 going up against Cleveland. Cleveland's been pretty good against wide receivers so far this season. We'll see if we can get Drake London. Even though they've been pretty good against wide receivers, they give up a lot of yards. Don't give up a whole lot of receptions. They give up a lot of yards. They give up like 15 yards per reception right now to wide receivers. So keep an eye on that big statistic there. Jalen Waddle at number 14. Again, just bringing it down just a little bit. Just a little bit. We know that offense has top 10 upside written all over it, though. Devontae Adams, I've got him at number 15. Denver allowing the fewest fantasy points per game to opposing wide receivers right now. As broken as the offense looks, the Denver defense hasn't been that bad. We'll see if they can keep spinning it this week. Devontae Adams, I definitely think he's got a great opportunity, but I've got him a little bit lower because of the ceiling. He's going to be starting in your lineup regardless, though. So if you want to complain about, oh, Kyle, you've got Devontae Adams so low, it's only 15. You're not sitting him anyway, ladies and gentlemen. He is a start for me this week. Don't complain. Just go put him in your lineup and shut up. CeeDee Lamb at number 16 going up against Washington. Lots of targets right now. Lots of targets. So a little bit of that upside peak this past week. We'll see if it continues to climb with Cooper Rush. Deontay Johnson at number 17. Kind of the opposite. Lots of targets, no upside whatsoever. We start Deontay Johnson. We just hope that he can get about 70 yards. Maybe find the end zone. Curtis Samuel at number 18. A whole lot of targets for this guy, being used all over the field. Love seeing him healthy right now. Definitely the type of offensive weapon that helps Washington. Marquise Brown going up against Carolina. Could end up being tough. Carolina hasn't been great against wide receivers so far this season, but we know that that is a defense that once they get going, they can shut anybody down. Courtland Sutton at number 20 going up against Las Vegas. Again, got to keep him just a little bit lower until we see that offense start to get moving a little bit, which it will at some point in time. Christian Kirk going up against Philadelphia. We'll probably see a little bit of Darius Slay this week. Still got him as a start. Got that ceiling just a little bit lower, though, as you can tell by this ranking here. Number 22, Gabe Davis. Gabe Davis, I'd love to see him bounce back this week. I don't know as of right now how healthy he is. Is he still 75%? Is he 80%? Is he 90%? Is he back to 100%? I don't know. I'm being cautious with it until I know for sure. Brandon Cooks at number 23 going up against the Chargers. Chargers have actually been pretty bad against wide receivers this year. And Houston, believe it or not, has been playing pretty well. They don't have a win yet. We'll see if LA can get back to their winning ways against Houston this week. DK Metcalf at number 24. Going up against Detroit. Upside is definitely there. Would like to go a little bit higher with him, but again, it's really hard to with this offense right now. Mike Williams at number 25. Got him much lower this week than I would like to have. I'd like to have him higher, but I just don't know how truly healthy Justin Herbert is, and I don't know what's going on with Keenan Allen yet. Garrett Wilson at number 26 going up against Pittsburgh. This is actually kind of shocking for me. I'm about 15 spots higher on Garrett Wilson than the expert consensus rankings. Do they know something that I don't know? Because he's the biggest playmaker in this offense. Juju Smith-Schuster going up at number 27 here against Tampa Bay. A little bit of a bounce-back performance last week. Again, not a great big ceiling, but enough of a bounce-back performance that we feel like he's going to get going. And if you're a member here on the channel, you already saw the film breakdown on him and why I believed he was going to be okay. Brandon Ayuk at number 28 going up against the Los Angeles Rams. Hopefully, he's the guy that sees a little bit of singular coverage. They give a lot of assets to keeping Deebo Samuel shut down, and Brandon Ayuk finds himself with a big play here or there. Chris Olave going up against Minnesota. Again, and Adam Thielen right next to him, and then Michael Thomas at number 32. Then, of course, you've got Tyler Lockett at number 31. I'm just going through a whole lot of players right now because 3 of the next 4 are over across the pond for one of the annual London games. It's difficult for me with Olave because we don't know how Michael Thomas and Jarvis Landry are feeling quite yet. It is obviously an overseas game, which can tend to be, a little bit of an issue, and that just brings that brings that ceiling down until we know. Now, if we find out Jarvis Landry and Michael Thomas won't play, or just Jarvis Landry won't play, we could probably bump him up a little bit. And honestly, I'd probably bump him up above Brandon Cooks, maybe above Gabe Davis, depending on if Jarvis Landry and Michael Thomas are out. If they're not, I'd probably keep them right around here. Adam Thielen, I think that touchdown is kind of the X factor. I talked about it last week. I said he was getting the targets, hadn't found the end zone yet. Boom, he finds the end zone. Tyler Lockett at number 31, some big play potential against Detroit, but who's Jeff Okudah going to be covering? Because he's been darn good this year. Michael Thomas, again, just talked about him. We'll see how that foot is feeling as we head into the weekend. Devontae Smith at number 33 going up against Jacksonville. Would like to go a little bit higher with him. I'm just being cautious to wait and see if these performances that we're seeing are truly going to continue. Jerry Jeudy at number 34. Would love to see a higher upside here until that offense gets going. We can't do it. Terry McLaurin at number 35. He kind of bounces back last week. Is he going to see a lot of Trayvon Diggs this week, though? And number 36 is going to be Russell Gage for right now. If for some reason we don't have a Julio or somebody else this week, again, we'll try to update you during the live shows and things of that nature so we can get you moving in the right direction. I've also got a few guys on here as well that are kind of the first ones out, if we're using basketball analogies here. Tyler Boyd, Noah Brown are going to be the first 2 out. Tyler Boyd, I still have him as a start this week. Same for Noah Brown. Just have him outside, knowing that those are guys that might not see as much volume as we would like to have them all the way up in the top 36. Noah Brown, one thing interesting about him is it sounds like Dalton Schultz is getting back to practice now. Might be feeling a little bit better. Don't know for sure yet. We'll continue to monitor that. Romeo, I know it's Doubs. Romeo Doubs. Would love to go with him this week. I hate the matchup, though. I am not a fan going up against New England. That is allowing barely any fantasy points to wide receivers right now. Aaron Rodgers not playing well. The offense just kind of spurting and sputtering a little bit. Besides Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon, they could have a bounce-back week this week. So for Dobbs, I'm going to be careful with him. Elijah Moore really connected last season with Zach Wilson. Zach Wilson back this week. Does he become the number one again? Corey Davis has been really, really good. Obviously, you've got Garrett Wilson, who's got a higher upside for me right now. That's why he's in the top 36. Elijah Moore is not. Zay Jones is also a start for me this week. He's a little big play dependent, though. He could get a nice amount of volume, but unless he gets that touchdown, he's not really going to be fantasy viable in my mind. DJ Moore is actually a sit for me this week, being very cautious with him and this offense until I can see it get going a little bit more. And then Rashad Bateman coming in. Just him and the Duve are so big play dependent right now, and you can put them both together at this point, that it's really hard for me to rank them super high. Because again, until we start to see those volume and those production numbers come together, which if you watch the start and sit videos, you know what I'm talking about. Until we see those numbers get closer, they're going to be very, very, very risky starts every single week, even with how good Lamar Jackson is playing. Let's go ahead and hop on over to our top 18 tight ends. Travis Kelce, Mark Andrews, no surprise here. Zach Ertz coming in at number 3. Definitely like his potential this week, knowing again that offense or that defense for Carolina can shut down wide receivers at any given time. They're off to a little bit of a slow start right now, but hey, if this is the week that they get going, it's going to be the week that Zach Ertz has a big game. Darren Waller going up against Denver. Again, another tough matchup for wide receivers. Hopefully we're looking towards the tight end. Tyler Higbee, super safe right now. He's the number 2 in that offense. David Njoku's got a great matchup going up against Atlanta that allows quite a bit to fantasy tight ends right now. So let's get David Njoku going again this week. Hopefully we replicate some of those numbers from last week. George Kittle at number 7 going up against the Rams. Also a guy that could see a little Jalen Ramsey this week. George Kittle for me, just wanted to make sure he's 100% healthy. As I see that he's more healthy, he's going to climb up my rankings. Y'all know that I love him. We'll see how he continues to perform. Kyle Pitts, I've got the ceiling lower on him still. Yes, he had a great first quarter last week. What did he do after that, though? Those are my concerns, is how inefficient that offense has been utilizing him. And if you are a member, you already saw the video that I put out on him with the film breakdown, and it didn't look great. TJ Hawkinson going up against Seattle. I actually like TJ Hawkinson this week. I've got him as a start. Definitely think Seattle, who's been tough on the outside to wide receiver so far, can, may let TJ Hawkinson a little bit loose over the middle. Hopefully he finds the end zone again this week. Pat Freiermuth, super touchdown dependent right now, and that's why I've got him a little bit lower. Tyler Conklin, I'd like to go higher with him, but I can't because I don't know how Zach Wilson is going to treat him. A lot to be said this week about what we do with Tyler Conklin moving forward. Gerald Everett at number 12 going up against Houston. Again, we don't know what's going on with Keenan Allen yet. If we find out that he's out, Gerald Everett could go a little bit higher. Dallas Goedert at number 13 going up against Jacksonville. I think we're going to see a lot of wide receivers this week, and that's why I've got Goddard a little bit lower, but he's still a start for me. Hayden Hurst going up against Miami. Great matchup on Thursday Night Football. Evan Ingram at number 15. Again, he might have a good game and disappear for 3 weeks. He had a good game 2 weeks ago, disappeared last week. We'll see if he bounced back this week against Philadelphia. The targets are absolutely there. Big Bobby Tonyan, 7 targets last week, caught 6 of them. He seems to potentially be working his way back into the mix for more targets. Hopefully that happens, but a tough matchup to start. Number 17, Mike Gesicki. I've got him as a sit this week against Cincinnati, but the opportunity is going to be there. A little bit of a better matchup for him. And Dawson Knox also a sit for me at number 18. Touchdown potential is there, but again, as Gabe Davis gets back to being healthy, you've got Stephon Diggs still. You've got Isaiah McKenzie. You've got Jamison Crowder. Devin Singletary was their leading receiver last year. He's going to continue to get some looks. Dawson Knox, unfortunately, a lot of those targets that he capitalized on last year are going to Jamison Crowder and Isaiah McKenzie right now, so he's not seeing the type of volume that we would have hoped for. But ladies and gentlemen, that is going to take care of my rankings for the week. Hit the like button for me. Smash it hard. All right, hit that like button. Leave a comment down below. Let me know who you're most excited for this year. And if you're new to the Fantasy Headliners, you got to hit that subscribe button and stick around. I'm going to get out of here, though. I got a couple of members-only videos to work on, so you members, keep an eye out. Peace out, stay safe and healthy, and I'll catch you all on the next episode of the Fantasy Headliners.